Hey, happy Thursday, all. I think I jinxed us. I kind of welcomed spring yesterday, and it looks like winter decided to let us know that it's here to stay for a little while. So anyway, to the point. So today's task is going to be what we're calling conversation breakdown. All right, and this is a part of project conversation, and this is the kind of the overarching question I want us considering as we continue through this work. All right, if we create better conversations, can we create a better community? All right, and by community I mean the places that where we live and where we find people. I think society makes it sound like, I mean society here, but I think society makes it sound like it's someplace other than where we are in a community we live in. All right, whether that's a local or a global or a statewide community. So that's how I want you thinking about that. All right. Um, and so here's a quick overview of the task that I'm going to ask you to do today. All right. We're going to start looking at critical conversations, conversations about controversial issues. Okay. But we're going to approach this a little differently, perhaps, than what you've done in the past. Okay. Because I'm going to ask you to make or construct the conversations. Okay. No easy task. All right. But I think it's an authentic task. Okay. And so for this first opportunity, I'm going to be asking you to take one of the selected issues um, from from that task that we did earlier, looking at issues, where you selected three different issues. And I'm going to ask you to construct an argument between two people who represent the different sides. Okay. In your construction, though, you're going to intentionally arrive at a place where the conversation, breaks down. That place where they're no longer engaged in a productive conversation about the issue. Okay. You will then provide an analysis, a brief analysis and interpretation of how and why the conversation broke down. Okay. And so here are your task instructions. Choose one of the selected, this is a repeat, but choose one of the selected issues from your looking at issues task that we did earlier. Um, Identify each main side of the issue. So, for example, if the issue is, oh, and type, there's a cell down here. So you're going to type the issue here. So, like, let's say it's gun control. And then for each issue, for each side, you have to identify them. All right. And so if it is gun control, you might just simply say for gun control, against gun control. So you can just simply write in for and against. Now, um, after that, I want you to imagine an argument between the two sides, okay? And as you're imagining that, then I want you to go down here and I want you to provide some context, okay? Minimally, I want you to kind of set up the who, the when, and the where. Who's having the conversation or who's engaged in the argument? Is it two students in a classroom? All right. Are they two politicians? Is it two family members at the Thanksgiving table? All right. And so give a little bit of context for the conversation, give enough information so we understand who is speaking, where they're speaking, and when they're speaking. We already know what they're talking about. All right. They're talking about the issue. Now, importantly, as you get down here to start constructing the conversation, okay, I want you to understand how I imagine these conversation cells working. I want you to go from left, so here first, to right. So like this is the first side that's going to speak. This side will respond, okay? Then we'll move down here and it just keeps going. Now, sometimes in a conversation, all right, it's a fairly one-sided conversation. So you can think about that too. Again, I'm asking you to consider an authentic conversation between the two different sides of the issue, okay? And so what I was trying to establish there is like maybe this side kind of keeps talking for a while, all right, and this side has no chance to respond or doesn't respond, then that would just be blank, okay, as you kind of move down. So if I see there's a lot over here and nothing over here, that's just telling me this side is talking, all right? And so with that, I have provided a few cells here, but you may need to add more cells, and I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. So if you ever have to add cells, you're just going to highlight the row here. You're going to right click, okay, and then you're going to select, where is it here? Oh, right there, insert row below. All right. And so just like that, boom, we added another row. Okay. And then after as you're constructing the conversation, you have to get to a point where it breaks down. Okay. And I think that could happen in several different ways. And again, this doesn't need to be a lengthy conversation. Sometimes conversations about controversial issues break down rather quickly. You just have to get to a point where it ends. You don't have to give or where it breaks down, not where it ends. All right, it ends where it breaks down, and so that's what I want to be. It doesn't have to be a full blown debate. All right, where each side has its fair opportunities to speak. This is just a conversation between two people in the context that you have provided, and ultimately the conversation breaks down. Okay, and that's where it's going to end. Okay, now once you've broken the conversation in the analysis cell, all right, down here, what went wrong. All right, I want you to explain how and why the conversation broke down. Okay, and so with that, this is our first opportunity with this, and I'll be honest, this is my first time I've ever done this with a class, and so I may have made some mistakes. Maybe it's not going to go as smoothly as we think, but I'm intrigued by the idea of hearing how you guys construct conversations between two sides about issues that matter to you. All right, and so I'd like you to give us an honest attempt here. All right, and I think if I were to give one last parting piece of advice, it would be to try to make the conversation, the dialogue, as authentic as possible. All right, it does not need to be complete sentences. All right, there should be tone there. All right, and so with that, let's just see how it goes, guys. And if you need some help or further clarification on what I'm asking you to do here, please reach out. Okay, peace out, my friends. Stay warm.